Well, howdy there, friends. Today we're embarking on a remarkable journey to catch a glimpse of how the cast members from Sanford and Son have changed over the years. We'll be revealing their true identities and ages, and you're in for a real treat as we compare their youthful days on the show to the present year of 2024. So, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all ready for this ride? Let's get this journey rolling. 1. Red Fox as Fred G. Sanford, John Elroy. Sanford entered the world in St. Louis on December 9, 1922, and at the age of 13, he relocated to Chicago. 3 years later, his journey led him to Harlem, where he formed a friendship with the individual who would later be known as Malcolm X while working together. During his time in Harlem, he embarked on his comedy career, performing in black venues and on the Chitlin circuit, adopting the stage name Red Fox. In the 50s, Fox made his way to Los Angeles, producing explicit party records. By the 60s, he achieved widespread success with stand-up performances in Las Vegas. Although Fox is most recognized for portraying Fred Sanford on the popular series Sanford and Son, his legacy extends to being a pioneering figure in stand-up comedy. Reflecting on his unconventional path to television, Fox remarked in an interview, "No one expected me to be on television because I had a reputation from the party records as X-rated. But that's the type of humor I liked." Fox's life took an unexpected turn when he succumbed to a heart attack at the age of 68 in 1991, during rehearsals on the set of his CBS series, The Royal Family. In the wake of his passing, Slappy White conveyed to the New York Times, "The comedy world is going to miss him. He broke a lot of barriers." Friends fondly recall Fox's generosity, with Ruth Brown sharing with NYT, "Red would do anything for a friend." Unfortunately, this benevolence, combined with his extravagant lifestyle, led to Fox declaring bankruptcy and experiencing property seizures by the IRS. 2. Demond Wilson as Lamont Sanford. Demond Wilson takes on the role of Lamont Sanford, Fred's son, who has limited tolerance for his father's antics. Lamont occasionally faces the consequences of disapproving of his father's habits. At times, he is portrayed as naive and gullible, such as falling victim to card sharps and getting involved in a scam related to an antique commode. Lamont consistently aspires to elevate his status and explore life beyond the junkyard. Wilson was born in Valdosta, Georgia in 1946 and grew up in New York City, where he studied tap dance and ballet. Making his Broadway debut at the age of 4, he showcased his dance skills at Harlem's Apollo Theater by the age of 12. Raised in the Catholic faith and serving as an altar boy, Wilson briefly contemplated a Catholic priesthood vocation. A life-threatening experience occurred at 13 when Wilson's appendix ruptured, nearly claiming his life. Following this ordeal, he pledged to serve God in some ministerial capacity as an adult. An author as well, Wilson has written several Christian books addressing the New Age movement and what he perceives as its hidden dangers for society. KP Publishing and Literary Comedy, LLC released New Age Millennium on December 1, 1998. Wilson, also a writer of children's books, characterized the book as an exposé of specific New Age symbols and slogans. Since May 3, 1974, Wilson has been married to former model Cicely Johnston, and the couple has 6 children. Notably, Wilson shared childhood friendship with NBA Hall of Fame player Charlie Scott. 3. Leanda Page as Aunt Esther Anderson. Leanda Page entered the world on October 19, 1920, in Cleveland, Ohio, but her upbringing occurred in St. Louis, where she forged a childhood friendship with Red Fox. Embarking on a journey into the realm of entertainment, she commenced dancing during her teenage years, captivating audiences with a fire dancing act on the Chitlin circuit, earning her the moniker the Bronze Goddess of Fire. Shifting gears in the 1960s, Page transitioned from dance to comedy upon relocating to L.A. and becoming part of the comedy ensemble Skillet, Leroy & Co. A pivotal moment materialized when Fox arranged an audition for Page for the role of Aunt Esther on Sanford and Son. This opportunity propelled her into the limelight, endearing her to audiences as Fred's sharp-tongued, Bible-thumping sister-in-law. Notably, Page reprised the role in both short-lived spin-offs, namely Sanford Arms and Sanford, extending her acting pursuits beyond her time as Aunt Esther. Throughout her illustrious career, Page championed for equitable compensation for black performers. Sadly, she succumbed to complications from diabetes in 2002 at the age of 81. 4. Don Bexley as Bubba Bexley. Don Bexley took on the role of Bubba Bexley, standing as another of Fred's close friends, frequently gracing the screen, sharing the spotlight with Grady as Fred's cherished companion. Bubba distinguished himself with an infectious belly laugh and a genial personality, often serving as the straight man to set up punchlines for Fred. His boisterous greeting of "Hey, Fred" invariably irked Fred and Lamont. Over the course of his professional journey, Don Bexley showcased his versatility as an orchestra director, singer, dancer, stand-up comedian, and actor. In the early 1940s, Bexley ventured into the world of comedy in upstate New York, collaborating with luminaries such as Milton Berle, Danny Kaye, and Henny Youngman, and sharing the dance floor with Sammy Davis Jr. Notably, Bexley made history as the first black stand-up comedian to navigate the hotel circuit in the Borscht Belt. The final chapter of Bexley's life unfolded on April 15, 1997, when he succumbed to heart and kidney failure at Hampton Centara Hospital, leaving a legacy at the age of 87. He is fondly remembered by his wife Sally Bexley, daughters Donna and Stacy's Marie, grandson, great-grandchildren, nieces, and nephews. 5. Whitman Mayo as Grady Wilson. Whitman Mayo takes on the role of Grady Wilson, Fred's amiable and uncomplicated best friend, making regular appearances on the show. Grady's signature phrase is "good googly goo," a joyful exclamation used in moments of happiness or pleasant moods. Serving as Fred's sidekick, Grady frequently finds himself entangled in various get-rich-quick schemes hatched by Fred. Mayo also contributed to The Cape, portraying Sweets, the proprietor of Moonshot Bar and Grill. His presence graced several films, including The Main Event alongside Barbra Streisand, DC Cab, Boys and the Hood, and Waterproof featuring Burt Reynolds. Mayo assumed the role of Reverend Bagnon in the BET TV movie Boycott in 2001 and made a memorable appearance on an episode of Martin. In 1956, Mayo entered matrimony with Melva Washington, the daughter of Clarence and Lena Washington, in Los Angeles. Later residing in Atlanta's Collier Heights community since 1994, he spent his final years with Gail Mayo, his third wife. Whitman Mayo, a beloved figure, passed away due to a heart attack on May 22, 2001, at Atlanta's Grady Memorial Hospital. 6. Nathaniel Taylor as Rollo Larson. Nathaniel Taylor, born on March 31, 1938, shared his hometown of St. Louis with Red Fox. Before stepping into the role of Lamont's closest companion, Rollo, in Sanford and Son, Taylor pursued a career as an electrician. He graced 32 episodes of the popular series and revisited his character in the short-lived spin-off Sanford. Taylor's acting journey extended to notable appearances in shows like What's Happening and 227, as well as blaxploitation films such as Willie Dynamite and Trouble Man. Later in life, Taylor established a performing arts studio in Los Angeles, dedicating himself to teaching acting. His passing occurred at the Ronald Reagan Medical Center in Los Angeles due to a heart attack in 2019, marking his departure at the age of 80. Reflecting on his legacy, Taylor's son Cady shared that his father cherished being remembered as Rollo, considering it an honor to be a black man on television during that era. According to Alonzo "Lonzo" Williams, a music promoter and a close friend of Taylor, he consistently offered wise words, kind gestures, and a touch of humor to sweeten the moments. 7. Lynn Hamilton as Donna Harris. Lynn Hamilton steps into the character of Donna Harris, Fred's intermittently involved girlfriend, who eventually becomes his fiancée. Employed as a practical nurse, Donna embodies an amiable and composed demeanor, navigating Fred's antics and occasional escapades with a calm resilience. Hamilton initiated her career in Chicago's community theater scene, making her Broadway debut in Only in America in 1959. Her Broadway journey continued with 3 additional plays, complemented by numerous off-Broadway productions and a 3-year tenure with the New York Shakespeare Festival. Married to poet and playwright Frank Jenkins for an enduring 49 years, their union persisted from November 1964 until his passing in August 2014. Notably, Leanda Page, Hamilton's Sanford and Son co-star, happened to have a younger sister named Lynn Hamilton, fostering a coincidental connection that sparked rumors of their sisterhood. However, series lead Demond Wilson dispelled this misconception in 2016. 8. Hal Williams as Officer Smitty Smith. Hal Williams took on the role of Officer Smitty Smith, a police officer who occasionally makes appearances at the Sanford's residence. He is always accompanied by another officer serving as his partner, delivering punchlines to complement Williams's straight man setup lines. Born and raised in Columbus, Ohio, Williams initially delved into acting in Ohio's community theater during the early 1960s. Before pursuing an acting career in Hollywood in 1968, he held roles as a postal worker and corrections officer. During the early to mid-1990s, Williams played prominent roles in several of comedian Sinbad's productions, such as The Sinbad Show and The Cherokee Kid. In one of his more recent films, Williams portrayed the grandfather in the Bernie Mac film Guess Who, released in 2005. Williams, a 2-time husband and father of 3, entered matrimony with Gay Anderson on April 11, 1975, but the marriage concluded in divorce in November 1976. 9. Howard Platt as Officer Hoppy. Hopkins. Howard Platt takes on the role of Officer Howard Hoppy. Hopkins, a police officer who occasionally makes appearances at the Sanford's residence. Frequently, Hoppy misuses jive slang, prompting corrections from Smitty. For instance, using cold instead of cool, torn off instead of ripped off, or right up instead of right on. Platt has delivered both comedic and dramatic performances on television, recently portraying Reverend Weber in What About Joan? In addition to his portrayal of Hoppy on Sanford and Son, Platt has made guest appearances as Dr. Phil Newman on The Bob Newhart Show in a total of 6 episodes, Max on Alice, Major Ted Spector on Mass A.H., and Judge Jonathan Stockfish on Evening Shade. He has depicted 5 different characters on Barney Miller. As a series regular, he assumed the role of Captain Doug March on the CBS TV sitcom Flying High, 1978-79. Platt's diverse film roles include T.R. Baskin, Nixon, The Cat from Outer Space, and Norma Jean in Maryland. In the realm of directing, Platt has helmed a dozen shows, including a couple of Blagwards, Don't Dress for Dinner, Pump Boys and Dinettes, Love Letters, and Steel Magnolias. 10. Gregory Sierra as Julio Fuentes. Gregory Sierra entered the world on January 25, 1937, and found his upbringing under the care of his aunt in Spanish Harlem. Following his tenure in the Air Force, Sierra accompanied a companion to an audition for an acting school and received an invitation to join the program. His acting journey commenced on the New York stage, leading him to become a member of the National Shakespeare Company. Sierra, in the 60s, made the move to Los Angeles, aspiring to establish a screen acting career. Renowned for his role as Detective Sergeant Miguel Chano Amenguale in Barney Miller, Sierra also left an impression as Julio Fuentes, Fred Sanford's Puerto Rican neighbor and rival on Sanford and Son. He shared with the Morning Record that he drew inspiration for the character from his uncle. I used him not only as a model, but the namesake of the character I played on Sanford and Son. Sierra was an original cast member of Miami Vice, but he departed the series, and subsequently, his character met a fatal end. He did not like Miami and some of the people he worked with, conveyed his wife to the New York Times. He gave up a lot to leave the show. Throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Sierra maintained a steady presence in films and television. At the age of 83, he succumbed to cancer in 2021. 11. Fritzy Burr as Woman on Plane. Fritzy Burr hailed from Philadelphia and launched her acting career in the theater. She graced the stage alongside the vaudeville comedy duo Smith and Dale, taking on the role of the nurse in their famed sketch, Dr. Crunkate. Transitioning to Broadway musicals in the 1950s, Burr showcased her talents in productions like I Can Get It For You Wholesale and Funny Girl, where she shared the stage with a young Barbara Streisand. Local theater also witnessed her skills, with multiple roles in Fiddler on the Roof over the years. Upon her relocation to Hollywood, Burr carved out a niche as a character actress in numerous films and TV shows, including 10 episodes of Sanford and Son, where she portrayed various characters. Her illustrious career spanned 7 decades, and she graced the screen alongside Jack Nicholson in Chinatown, portraying a tenacious secretary. Burr made memorable guest appearances on popular 90s shows like Friends and Seinfeld. Beyond her acting endeavors, Burr dedicated her time to volunteering in hospitals, initially in California and later in Florida. Hollywood ties ran in her family, as her brother-in-law was Saul Turteltaub, a producer on Sanford and Son, and she held the aunt title to producer-director John Turteltaub. Burr peacefully passed away from natural causes in Fort Myers, Florida, on January 17, 2003. 12. Raymond Allen as Uncle Woodrow Woody Anderson. Raymond Allen, the youngest among 12 siblings, entered the world on March 5, 1929, in Kansas City, Missouri. Renowned for his portrayal of Aunt Esther's husband Woody in Sanford and Son, he also left a lasting impression with recurring roles like Ned the Wino on Good Times and Merle the Earl in Starsky and Hutch. Allen revisited the character of Woody in Sanford Arms and made memorable guest appearances on various series, including The Love Boat, The Jeffersons, and What's Happening. Facing health challenges, Allen chose to step away from acting in the 80s, and since 2016, he resided in a care facility due to recurrent bouts of pneumonia. At the age of 91, he peacefully departed in 2020, succumbing to a respiratory illness unrelated to COVID-19. His daughter, Ta Ronce Allen, shared the news of his passing on Facebook. Just wanted to let the Allen family and friends know that Dad received his wing 2 hours ago. His warm, kind heart and clever sayings will be missed. His laughter will ring in heaven. Rest in heavenly peace, Raymond Allen, the last of 12 siblings. 13. Pat Morita as Ah Chu. Noriyuki. Pat Morita, born in Northern California on June 28, 1932, encountered a challenging childhood, spending a significant part in a hospital due to spinal tuberculosis at age 2. Post-recovery, he found himself in an internment camp with his family throughout WE. Following the war, the Marita family operated a Chinese restaurant in Sacramento, sparking Pat's interest in stand-up comedy. Despite the perceived difficulty in pursuing stand-up, Marita initially built a career as a data processor at the Department of Motor Vehicles and Aerojet General Corp. It wasn't until the age of 30 that he delved into the entertainment industry. While renowned for his iconic portrayal of Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid franchise, Marita also had a comedic side, working as a stand-up comic and producer for Red Fox. This connection led to Marita's recurring role in Sanford and Son, where he played Lamont's friend Ah Chu, a cringe-worthy moment. Marita also joined Fox's variety show, gracing both Carnegie Hall and the Apollo Theater. Post Sanford and Son, Marita achieved prominence as Arnold on Happy Days and made television history as the first Japanese-American lead actor with the short-lived spin-off Mr. T and Tina. On November 24, 2005, Marita passed away in Las Vegas at the age of 73. Ralph Macchio paid tribute, stating, "Marita was a truly generous actor, a gifted comic, and an even greater friend. My life is all the richer for having known him. I will miss his genuine friendship." 14. Noam Pitlick as Officer Swanee Swanhauser. Noam Pitlick embarked on his acting journey while in college in Philadelphia, taking the lead in the series Action in the Afternoon. He later graced the off-Broadway stage with his presence in The Three Penny Opera in New York, marking his foray into the world of character acting on Los Angeles television during the 60s. While he gained recognition as an acclaimed television director, securing an Emmy, Peabody Award, and DGA Award for his directorial prowess, Pitlick initially carved a path as an actor on the screen before transitioning to directing. Pitlick left his mark on numerous films and television series like Hogan's Heroes, Bewitched, and I Dream of Jeannie, before securing a recurring role as Officer Swanee Swanhauser in Sanford and Son. His directorial legacy includes over 100 episodes of Barney Miller and approximately 100 more episodes across various shows in his illustrious career. If you tuned into broadcast television in the 70s or 80s, chances are you witnessed Pitlick's directorial influence. He passed away in 1999 at the age of 66, succumbing to lung cancer. While we reflect on the late Whitman Mayo's unforgettable portrayal of Grady, the brilliant Leanda Page's Aunt Esther, and the ever-jovial Bubba played by Don Bexley, we're reminded of the laughter they brought into our homes. The incomparable talents of Ray Allen, Gregory Sierra, and Noriyuki Pat Marita have forever etched their names in television history. Thank you for being a part of this nostalgic adventure.